So for the very final round of the very, very long day, and we really only have about an hour to do this, we are extremely, how many minutes? 30 minutes, so we have to be quick. As many voices we want to hear. Again, we are very, very proud to have all of you here. We have heard, especially in the second part of the film, about the Taumakan wind system of navigation, the various uses of swell, of weather, of stars, of sea life, bird life, and the holistic system that Mimi has presented earlier. And we must take this occasion to bring all the voyaging traditions which are here on stage into conversation and see how much resonates with the Taumako system and what may also be different in other traditions out there. Not everybody has been on stage today. So let me just very briefly introduce Mef, whom we have heard from Hawaii, Mimi from Hawaii, Luke, Kawea's grandson from Taumako. Then we have Lolo Benito from Saipan. Then we have Sanakoli from Milne Bay, Papua New Guinea. Betty from Taumako, whom we have heard. Mario Benito, Lolo's father, from Polowat. Then we have Fani from Samoa and Seta from Fiji. Whoever wants to go grab a microphone, and I guess it's going to be 3 minutes max per person. Take it away, folks. I think, Luki, you should start.
Yeah, thank you. I hope now you enjoy the film, and it was on the online. You can watch it on the YouTube. Yeah, nothing. I'm not what to say, but this look back on on the film. All the traditional way of staying with nature, we still practice in the island. The last time before I went to high school, last Christmas before I get up, I bought motor from Taumako to the nearest airport to get a flight to come here. I try to go back to other traditional way of monitoring the weather. So that evening I stay on the beach. I try to watch those white crab on the beach crab, they're running around, and to see if there's crab. If there's crab running around, then I know that tomorrow's good weather. So I can use that boat motor to cross. It's about 6 hours to drive on the boat motor. But yeah, so that night only few, not many like before. So most of the crab they hide. So it's like tomorrow be a good weather or no. So it's like I trust the crabs, but they didn't come out from the holes. So according to Taumako culture, when the crabs not come out, they already take shelter. Because tomorrow is a bad weather, so they get they sheltered. Like the tsunami, the Solomons, everyone, the sea was sucked, the water sucked. People just go want to see the sea was dry. What's going on? But the dogs, cats, every animals run to the high ground. So similar to the crab, so that they're very close to nature. So Taumako people, we are staying with nature, so we feel that feeling. That's part of we say to nature. So yeah, so what Puna Kavea was trying to pass on is from his experience. To 83, 84, there's an Australian Army engineers. They want to make passes in Western Timor to Mesto Islands, good harbor. So they want to open that the place where Hinora been sat down for Latano to come in. So they arrive in Taumako, and now the Army engineers, the divers go take there, they can blast the place, open it up. And Puna Kavea said to them, you can try if you can. But that place is not naturally sat. It's been opened before. But it was closed by Hinora with her anchor. She was really, cross that, the time that maybe like she promised that nobody in the world can open this one. So the engineers believe Puna Crossa Kavea, and they have a dive around, look down, come back, then say, okay, you are right. So they didn't blast that, no, that they didn't do any attempt to try to put explosive and try to open up until today. So I was in high school, come back, then Puna Crossa the story about the engineers come to the Taumako. And when I went to the military school and I asked them about, I got a record, yeah, in 83, July, August, they come up to Taumako. They try to help us make a passage for us. With Taumako, no way to go in. You must scan the wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, move, then go. Otherwise, the way we roll you. Yeah, so that's what we experienced that island. And the weather pattern, as I said, we know about the weather, but now it's changing. So when people talk about the climate change, like I for one, I think I believe it. But we are staying with the, with the ocean, and this changes in our season. The season, the season of fruit, season of the fish, season of these things come late, sometimes come early. So it's like confusing to us, like the crab. No, I don't know whether tomorrow, but in the morning the weather is good. I take that moment and I go. Then I say, but last night the crab come out and play the sand, like today's a good weather. So I think, oh, maybe the crab was confused too, because because of the climate change. So they are not feeling confused. So most times, for safety's sake, they stay in the hole, not come out. So yeah, so I think I want to share. And those anyone can want to ask question then. But thank you very much for tonight, and privileged to be here.
Perhaps Seta should go before he falls asleep. Omar, you go.
Good evening, everybody. Introduce me, Mario Benito from the island of Polowat. It's a very small island in Micronesia. And we have the similar stories, similar belief in nature, and similar stars that like we use. Maybe for me, like for us, Polowat, where I grew up, we have like 9 stars from east to north, and then 9 stars from east to south. And those stars are rise and set, and that's the stars that we follow. But the belief and, like belief in nature, we do that. Every single tree that we're gonna cut it down, you have to ask respect from the nature. And maybe the difference is the shape of our canoe and shape of the sail of our canoe. Maybe tomorrow you can see my canoe and like I talk about it. But tonight, thank you very much.
I don't know if I have anything else to say, but the way we navigate. For me, I've sailed through the Lau group in Fiji, because all the islands in Fiji are close by. So before the one behind you disappear, so the one in front of you appears. So for me, it's kind of easy to navigate through the other island. But I've navigated I was a train navigator for the Fijian canoe, and I've navigated the Pacific. And I'll just share one story. When we went to PNG in 2015, 2016, we went to pick up 1.5 tons of cocoa beans from tin puts in Bougainville, and sell it across to Wellington Chocolate Factory. So we went on the wrong time of the year. So our sail down was pretty easy. Took us 3 days to get to Vanuatu, and then from Vanuatu up to PNG 9 days, and then from PNG when we left PNG, we found out that we haven't got our New Zealand visa. So we have to stop in Honiara for 2 weeks to get our visa done before we left for New Zealand. Took us 29 days to get to New Zealand. Sail against the wind was pretty hard, really hard into the wind. When we got to New Zealand, we were only left with 4 kg of rice and 4 tins of tuna with 1 containers of 25 liters water. So we just got back into New Zealand just in time. But anyway, on our way back to Fiji, I asked Angelo, was our captain. I asked him, hey, I wanna do this in a traditional way. So I wanna navigate without using a GPS. And he said, yeah, all yours. So while we were in New Zealand, I had one of my instructors down in New Zealand, Jack Thatcher. So every afternoon I went up to his house. We sat down, we did a voyaging planning. So we set out the stars like when we went through the weather forecast I was expecting in the coming 10 days. So we did a dead reckoning, and it's we had a rough idea that it's going to take us probably 12 to 10 days to get to Fiji from New Zealand. And then so every day, every afternoon we went up, we just stand from his balcony, we watch the stars, and he said, oh, after these stars, you're going to use this one. When this one's set, you're going to use this one. Then he turned around and said, you think we can do it? And so I was standing there. It took me 2 minutes to realize it. And I was like, yep, I can do it. So when we left Tauranga, and 5 straight days, we were really into a breeze, and we took off, averaging 7 and up to 9 knots. And after 3 days, we were drifting. For 3 days, we were drifting. And I was really worried, and I did my calculations, and sometimes I overestimated, and one day I underestimated, but I was still within the range. But then, after 10 days, I went up to Angelo and all the crew, and I said, I'm expecting to see Matuku, because Matuku, when we're coming down from New Zealand, the fourth island is Matuku, and before you can see Suva. So Matuku is a pretty big island, so you can see from 20 miles off, you can see Matuku. So and then I was telling Angelo, hey, we're expecting to see Matuku in a few hours. So it's as soon as the sun rises, and it was a heavy downpour, and it was raining, and then did my calculations, and I was 70 sea miles off. And I was telling Angelo, I'm 70 miles off. But even if you are 70 miles off your target, you still can see Matuku. So just when the rain passed, you can see Matuku just off our starboard quarter, because we're sailing past. It was just off our starboard quarter, sailing into Suva. So Angelo turned around and he said, "Fuck, you just did it, bro." And I said, "What?" You just, even though you're 17 miles off, but you find your target. And, that's took me 10 days to find Fiji, but we were expecting 12 days. And yeah, but the way of navigating, as I've said in my presentations, is and I know nothing much, because about the way of my grandfathers and my fathers navigating, but they only say little about how they're navigating through the Fiji, through the Lao groups, and when they were sailing. Well, as for me, because I've trained under Jack Thatcher, which is one of Mau Pialang's students, which is I owe gratitude to the people of Micronesia for at least a fraction of what I have. It comes from them. But in time I wanted to to relate with what we have in Fiji, in terms of navigations, and we have our own way or our own dialect of navigating, which is something that I'm trying my best to put together to translate all the navigation words that we had, because I learned the Maori names of all the housings in our Stark campus and all that. So I'm trying to translate that into a Fiji name, so which is all the same meaning. And then it's like all the navigation throughout the Pacific, they speak the same language but in their own dialect. And it's an amazing experience, to be out in the oceans and living the dream and living the life. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
Okay, because Matua is nodding here. Common similarities. I didn't know, actually I was on the movie. You can only see my back, but that's cool anyways. I'm honored. There was just a short flash. Sorry, there was a short flash with when the Taumako crew were in Suva in 2013, and that's where I met the Taumako crew for the first time. You'll see in the background, there was a Taumako in the background. So, and I was on that Taumako. I was the blue shirt. The reason why I know the colors, because we played hooky that day. Instead of going to the conference, we were given the opportunity to go on this Taumako and sail around Suva. It was there was about, Pea, who's the captain and one of the Pau navigators in the Cook Islands. It was Hoturoa, he's one of the navigators and captains in Aotearoa. It was Aonofo Havea, she's the only female towing captain. And it was two of us who usually is on either bailing duty or tea duty. Yeah, we make tea. That was me. That was my first job on a Va'a. And I was ballast that day. I was bailer girl and ballast that day. And we were sailing around in Suva Harbor. And Suva Harbor, during that day, there was, we went through 3 or 4 really quick showers with strong winds. Yeah, and it was really exciting. So for that half hour that we were out, the captain, these 3 other captains were literally either bailing or ballast, where we had the Fijian captain, literally telling us, do this ballast, run up, down, run with the sail to the other side, shunt now, because we had to avoid getting wet and be back in time for this next section of the conference that we were at. But yeah, thank you. Commonality right there. Different Va'a, different sets of heads and crew dynamics, but at the same time, there was no crew dynamics. That was the most awesome bit about it. And I always thank the fact that the Va'a brings us closer. Though we're far flung apart from different parts of the world, because we see ourselves in different parts of the world. The Pacific is very huge, and we're able to be threaded and woven together closer by the Va'a. Yeah, top.
Good night. I'm Sanakoli John. I'm from Papua New Guinea, Milne Bay province. I am a canoe builder, traditional canoe builder. I do build myself, and I do sail myself, navigate. So all the parts of the canoe of my traditional, I know. I cut all the sizes, type of trees, I know. I do building. And sailing, navigating, yes, I do. I know. So whatever the Taumako has showed is real. I do taught by my father, my uncles. I navigate with waves. I can read from waves. I can read from clouds, stars, and the sunset and sunrise. So nobody will trick me on navigations because I know all my directions that I was taught by my uncle and my father. In 2017, I navigate with my brother and a Danish adventurer, a Danish filmmaker, and navigate New Guinea Island that's known the second largest island in the world with my traditional canoe. In our way, I can just tell you, is our GPS breakdown in Biak Island. So more information told F. Jensen is there. So our GPS breakdown in Biak Island when we want to cross over to Superiori, Rani Island, and go cross over to Manokwari. So didn't believe me that I can cross over to Manokwari and Nunfol Island. And then I set the map with him, study the map, get the direction from the sunrise, and I get the direction from the wind. I get the direction from the waves that breaks, rolls over, and then I said, let's sail out. In the afternoon, I said, Tor, just look in front of our canoe. Are you going to see us island or not? When he looked, he saw Nunfol Island was in front of us. That's what I experienced. Thank you so much.
Similarities, man. I was really shocked because I was also telling Mimi about this earlier, and it's about like how similar the stories are from Solomon and my dad's island, and it's the story about Lata, and how he chose his crew. But us, we don't call him Lata, we call him Olap. Olap he's a guy that went and sailed, and he chose his crew members. The crew members consisted of a thief, scoundrel, and the three others were from 3 different places from the Micronesia. So I was so shocked. I just kept on like thinking to myself, like, how are we so far apart yet we have the same stories of Lata, but in our culture we call it Olap. It's not Lata. And it made me think, it kept on making me think about like how, despite even though like we're so far apart from each other, we all share the same stories, how we navigate through the stars, and how we like read the stars and all of those stuff. So I think to me, the only thing that is different is our canoes, my dad's canoe, and how we build it. And the way that our canoe looks, yes, it does have a outrigger and it's double hull, but I think it's just the way that it looks by itself. And yeah, I think that's all I have.
I think I want to speak to what may be one of the elephants in the room, and that is the question of weather control. It's gotten better, but it used to be that before Mimi and I produced these films, we used to go around and we give talks to anybody that would listen, really, but we gave them to historical societies, to schools and groups like this. And whenever we get to the subject of people modifying weather in the way that Chief Kavea and various other Lata descendants do, it really made people nervous. You'd see them they'd start fidgeting in their chairs, they'd giggle nervously. This was 25 years ago, and it's very interesting to me that this no longer happens. I think there's perhaps been a leavening of world thought that makes this idea a little more acceptable. The Melanesian pidgin term for this practice is medicine, which is very interesting because it does resemble white man's medicine in many ways. It is a skill that can be learned. It can be learned by anybody. You can be any gender, any race, any ethnicity. There's no barrier there. And the various weather doctors specialize. For instance, as Mimi has mentioned, Kavea called winds. He could also still storms. And we've both been with him when he's done that. So we know that this is really true. And certain other people. There was an old woman, for instance, out on the island of Nukapu in the Reef Islands, who was a wind caller. And she once called a wind for us when we'd been stuck for several days on our way against the Southeast Trades down to Timotu. And there's another thing too, that among modern medical practitioners, you don't save every patient. And this is very sad, but even the best motivated, the best trained, the best equipped doctors do lose patients. And yes, this does happen with the weather doctors as well. But Arthur C. Clarke famously said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. You can sort of flip this to say that one culture's science is another culture's magic. So what seems magic, I think, to many of us is it is a science, it is learnable, and it's a science that the rest of us in the world really need to learn in this time of climate change and urgency. We need to learn what these people know how to do.
Okay, so the only thing I want to emphasize, which I think has been said today, but that the esteemed presenters here are representatives of our leaders of schools, schools of voyaging, of how to build and what to crew and how to navigate. And that's exactly what they're trying to do, is to be able to teach and find support and find students. They have students among their communities who want to learn and are learning, but they could have many more. And they also have all expressed interest in exchanging students from here, from anywhere. It's a matter of importance that young people understand that this kind of knowledge exists. And yeah, we have a short time really to learn it and apply it. Because the kind of knowledge we've been applying is we're not going to survive it.
I think these were wonderful words to close the first day of our event, which will continue tomorrow at 10:30, same space. And before you all leave, let me just express how amazing and how wonderful it is to be able to listen to you and to learn from you and to have you here in the same space with us and share all of that. It's a true blessing and a gift. And we're looking forward to more tomorrow, 10:30. Thanks everyone for coming. It's also been amazing to have so many people in this room in Berlin talking about a place so far away. But I think we all learned a lot. And we're looking forward to more. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Lars and Anya.